I have to admit, I'll come clean with you. I'm not much of a cameraman, so I'll just leave it standing on the tripod. But what I can do is give you some figures, which I found out about the city. I thought it would be nice to present some data, what is happening in this city every day, statistically. So I burrowed around a little last night, and I found some interesting figures. We have about 680,000 people living here in Frankfurt. The population is growing. About 25% of those are non-Germans, so it's a very international city. And the city of Frankfurt says that on average there are 20 people, 20 babies are being born here every day, and 16 people die. What really astonished me is that I found out that apparently, on average, 155 people move to Frankfurt every day, whereas 126 people move away, again, every day. So if you put those figures together, it means you're 10 times, almost 10 times more likely to move away from Frankfurt than you are to die here. Now, that's a comforting thought, isn't it? I think it is, anyway. We have 7 couples getting married every day, and 4 couples are getting divorced. Again, that's a pretty happy ratio to cling to, isn't it? I'm quite happy here. I lived here for, well, it's a good 2.5 years now. I moved here from Cologne, which is Germany's 4th biggest city, and Frankfurt being Germany's 5th biggest. A lot of people thought that I would be changing, you know, I'd be shortchanged, at least in terms of cities. But it's a nice city. I like it a lot. It's a very infrastructurally, it's one of the most important hubs in Europe. It's got the 9th biggest passenger airport and the 7th biggest cargo airport in the world. We have, if you look in the background, you'll frequently see big jumbo jets flying in and out from our balcony. We can see a constant line of airplanes coming in and out. In fact, it's 610 flights each day. That's quite a number, and that amounts to 150,000 passengers flying in and out and transferring at Frankfurt Airport. We have a huge central station, a railway station, 350,000 people moving through it every day, not necessarily traveling, but fetching people and stuff. So that's quite a number. It's quite a hub here. Lots of people move about in Frankfurt, through Frankfurt. Of course, it's also a city where there's a lot of drug abuse. You do see a lot of heroin junkies in the center of town, shooting up, sometimes pretty much straight in the open. Now, I have a 2-year-old son, and that is something that worries you. If you're walking by the river, you want to, you know, just sort of go to the playground with your kid, with your family. On some playgrounds, you've got to be careful because syringes may be lying around. So it is a big problem. Of course, it's a big problem for those people primarily. But what was nice was that my little son, it was his birthday last Friday, yesterday, a week ago, 16th. And he was 2 years old. And we were sort of walking down Bornheim, which is the borough we live in. We were walking down one of the main roads, and there was a presumably homeless guy, a young guy, sitting by the side of the road. He was American, US American. and he had a dog with him, a fairly small dog. So we stopped by and we started chatting because Calvin, my son, he was quite interested in the little doggy. So we started chatting, and he just asked how old he was, and I said, well, you know, my son just turned 2 years old last Friday, and it was so sweet. You know, he was sitting there collecting money, but he gave my son €1 because he said, oh well, you know, you deserve a present. That's all I have to give you. So please have it. And that's the maddest thing that could happen to anyone, I thought. Someone who's begging in the street giving you money, or at least giving your son money. That was really nice. And why I'm telling you this is, today I met him again. He was sitting in the same spot, and I was walking past there again with my son. And I thought, right, okay, you know, we may never have met again because he may not have been a regular there. I may not have even lived in the borough. I may have come from a different town. He wouldn't have known. I didn't tell him. So it was serendipity that we met up again. And yeah, so I asked him what I could do for him. He said, just do anything, you know, just do what you think I need. I'm not going to tell you, because only that way it really will come from the heart. And so I just went to the market, which was nearby, and got him some fresh fruit, which he liked. I got him like a pineapple ready to eat, you know, sliced up in a little cup, and some raspberries. And he thought it was nice. And I hope I see him again. And it's those stories that that I think they sort of make up for all the bad things that happen in the city. Yeah. Well, that's something I wanted to share, because after all, this is about my life in a day. And that's what happened to me today. Okay. End of the take.